All right, with Alexis Lafreniere, who's an elite company, as the second player to ever win the CHL Player of the Year award. It happened to one other Rimouski Océanic player, that was Sidney Crosby back in the day. And it's also happened only twice, with Crosby and John Tavares as the only ones in their draft years to win the CHL Player of the Year. I mean, Alexis, the accolades keep piling up for you to be in the company of a Tavares and a Crosby. What does this award mean to you?
It means a lot. Like you said, it's those guys are really good players and elite players in the NHL. So it's really special for me to be able to win this award, and I feel really grateful for everybody who has helping me in Rimouski.
I'm amazed. 3 years has passed already. When you reflect back on your time in Rimouski, do you feel like I do, that it's been really fast? And maybe just talk about that time that you spent in Rimouski and what it's meant to you in your career.
Yeah, it goes so fast. All the vets are telling you that you have to enjoy, and it goes so fast. And for me, I've been really lucky to have the chance to play in Rimouski. Really nice organization. They treat their players like real pros. So for me, it was a lot of fun playing there, and I had nothing but good memories about my time.
When you look at your progression from being the first overall pick to your rookie year, which was outstanding, and then into year two and in year three, I mean, you've grown tremendously as a player, but came into the league as a great player already. How do you see the development path and how it's grown, and what kind of layers have you added to your game over the years?
Yeah, for sure. I'm much more a mature player on the ice. I think I can play a lot more physical, and I'm better than I was in my own zone. When I came at 16, I wasn't that good defensively, and still I have to improve a lot. But I think I did improve. So I improved a couple things in my game that really helped me have a lot of success.
Just talking about the CHL and not necessarily Hockey Canada, because those events are separate, but what would be your most fond memory over the 3 years in Rimouski? Your teammates, your coaches, or a particular game? I can think of one that I know I liked against the Quebec Remparts that we had you on not too long ago, but what memory maybe sticks out to you in your mind about your time in Rimouski?
Yeah, for sure. The game against Quebec was pretty good.
And it was a memorable performance from Alexis Lafreniere, who had 7 points in this game.
The Winter Classic was really fun too. We played against Shawinigan outside. It was a really nice experience for me. We won the game. It's a little bit more fun too. So for sure, I would say the Winter Classic was pretty special.
Renversé par Lafrenière, les deux se retrouvent. Lafrenière devant le filet, la fin, le tir est vu! Alexis Lafrenière, son deuxième du match, et c'est 4-0.
When you look at your time, and now we're talking about everything included, all the medals internationally, and of course the big gold medal at the World Juniors this year, what is it that you're most proud of that you've accomplished to this point?
Yeah, for sure, the gold medal is pretty big. With the group we had, it was really special to be able to win with these guys, and a dream come true. As a little kid, you dream of playing World Juniors, and to be able to win gold, it was probably my best memory for sure.
When I look back, I think there was a key moment for you, and I think about what happened in the World Juniors previous to that, where your playing time as a younger player, it wasn't great, and then there was a bit of adversity. But I look at that as a huge piece of your development, facing a little bit of adversity and then coming back and responding really well from it. The second half of that year, of course, what you did this year. Do you feel that that's kind of a key moment for you, and that adversity maybe was good for you?
Yeah, for sure. I've learned a lot as a player, and I've grown a lot. Had the chance to learn from really good players at my first World Juniors, and face adversity. Didn't had that much ice time, and it was something that when you look back was good for me, because it pushed me to work harder and get better.
Over watching you the last 3 years, I think one thing that really stuck out to me this year was was how physically you're able to play, to repel checks, to work in the corners. But when you look at your game and you're self-assessing your game, what would you think is the most underrated part about your game?
I would maybe say my physicality. Like you said, it's something that sometimes maybe the first line players are not able to do. And for me, I like to play physical sometimes, and I think it can really change the momentum in a game. So I think it's something that is always good to have.
You were a guy who was projected to go number one even in the NHL draft when you came into the Quebec League. So now when you look at being a late birthday, how much of a benefit do you think it is to have been able to have played 3 full seasons in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League and maybe preparing you for taking that next step?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a benefit. I had the chance to play longer than the other guys. So my third year, I was ready to go. I knew what to expect, and I was really focused in my draft year. So for sure, it was a benefit, and I was really ready to go this year, and it helped me a lot.
Speaking of benefit, I know you worked really hard last summer to be prepared here for this year draft year, but you are like nobody here in the last 15 or 20 years in the fact that when I look at where you are, not having to go to a combine, not having to go to a dev camp once you get drafted, the World Junior Camp is going to be done virtually. You've been given a ton of time here to prepare. What have you been doing with your time in order to make yourself ready for whenever the NHL starts its next season? Do you feel it's been a benefit for you?
Yeah, for sure. I have a lot of time for me. I train a lot, in the gym, and we're going to start going on the ice next week in Quebec. So it's going to be pretty good for that. And for the rest, I can, spend time with my family, play a little bit of golf and stuff like that. So just spending time for me a little bit and training really hard. I think that's really good.
Aside from the training, you can't train 24 hours a day, but I heard you mention the word golf, and I'm looking at you right now and I'm thinking, this guy might be a golfer. Is that something that you've kind of taken up during this time during the pandemic? And are you any good player?
I'm not bad. I wouldn't say I'm really good, but not bad. But yeah, for sure. During the pandemic, when the golf opened up, you go with your buddies and you have fun playing golf. I think it's a fun sport, and you work on different things.
Does it help fill the void at all, like in terms of competition and being competitive? I know you're pretty tight with the guys you work out with, and I'm sure you're playing golf. Nathan Legare is a name that came up, but does it help get the competitive juices flowing a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. We are a lot competitive, and when someone misses shot, for sure they get comments about it. So it's
nice. Now, being the athlete you are, I know you're a great baseball player growing up, obviously really good in hockey, and now you've taken up golf. Are we going to be looking at a PGA contract, maybe?
I don't think so. I have to work a lot of my game.
So when I look at just how you've been so respectful with the media, answering all the requests, and there's been a time here where you've had to meet with the NHL teams. How many teams have you met with, and maybe what's the thing that's been off the path or surprised you most about the teams that you've spoken with?
I met a couple of teams on Zoom, and it's every team is kind of the same. They want to know a little bit about your person, and I think they know you as a player, but they want to know about how you are off the ice and stuff like that. But it's not. I don't think it's hard. It's normal questions, and teams are really nice to you. So it's really fun to do those kind of interviews.
Speaking of the interview process, you had a chance to spend some time with a couple of your buddies and a couple of the top draft prospects. Wayne Gretzky, what was that like being interviewed by Gretzky?
It was really special. Maybe the greatest player of all time. So it was so fun to talk with him and with the other guys. I think who were really impressed for sure.
You look at the elite players, and I've seen a ton of them come through the CHL in my years, from Tavares and Stamkos, McKinnon, McDavid, obviously. But we got a couple of guys in the hopper here. Shane Wright, exceptional player in Ontario. Connor Bedard was just granted that status in the Western Hockey League. When you look at those players and what you've gone through your time so far, What advice could you give to those guys like the Wrights and the Bedards who are likely going to be in your position here in the future?
I think for sure just enjoy their time in the CHL. I think it's a really fun league to play in, and just time goes really fast, and you got to enjoy, and for sure every time they're on the ice, just work as hard as they can, and have fun with their teammates.
When I look at the golf, the working out, is there anything else during this time of the pandemic that you've really kind of latched onto, whether it's a television program or maybe new types of social media, video games? What else have you been filling your time with during the pandemic?
Just spending time with my family a little bit. For sure, I don't get to see them a lot during the season, so spending time with them a little bit, and for sure a little bit of video games too. Either Fortnite or Call of Duty. So it's always fun to play a little bit with your buddies. Some video games.
Do you get a chance to play with any of the guys you played World Juniors with? Because you were in a unique situation. You had Byfield there with you, you had Jamie Drysdale there with you. I mean, I saw the camaraderie you guys had on that interview with Gretzky, but are those guys you get to kind of battle with in some of the gaming that you're doing?
No, I don't play. I don't play with them that much, but for sure, every time we get to talk together, we have a lot of fun. I have a lot of respect for those guys. They're a really good person, so really fun to talk to them.
Is there any chirping going on? I mean, this is an important week for all of you guys with the NHL Draft lottery coming up Friday. Have you had any back and forth, any chirping going on between the group?
No, not that much. It's pretty calm right now, but we'll see what happens. Friday, maybe we'll get a text.
When you think about that, that's kind of the first step in moving forward. Give us your plans for Friday, where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing, who you're going to be with.
I'm going to be home with my family and a couple of my buddies. For sure, I'm going to enjoy this day with my close ones, and I think it's going to be a nice day, and for sure I'll bring my buddies here, and we're going to have a nice night together. So that's kind of it.
That's amazing stuff. I just want to go back to your game here before we get a couple more questions, but before we do that, I want to go back to your game. When you look at some of the things you've been working on, what's the most important and the most critical aspect of the game that you've been working on that's going to allow you to make that jump to the National Hockey League next year?
Like I said, playing without the puck is something that I got a little bit better, I think, but it's still something that I need to improve, and something that I can improve. So it's something that I've been working with Serge a lot, and I think it's helping me a lot, for jumping to next step.
Has that opportunity presented itself on video, like during this time off, where maybe you've gone back and looked at some things from your season to help in that regard?
Yeah, for sure. You watch a little bit of your games, and you can see how you can get better. So it's always fun to be able to watch some of your shifts.
The last question I have for you, and it's a little bit off the path here a little bit, but if you were able to get an autograph from anybody who's either in the present or in the past, who would that person be and why?
I would say maybe Kobe Bryant, because I've watched him a lot growing up. I like watching basketball, and he was one of my favorite players, and for sure. We knew that he passed away, so I would like to, for sure, maybe meet him and for sure get his autograph. Amazing
stuff. Listen, you've done amazing stuff through your years in Rimouski with Hockey Canada and all your exploits there. It's been a real pleasure watching you play, watching you grow, and to think that you're in some very elite company doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Congratulations on being the back-to-back winner of the CHL Player of the Year Award. Continued success. We wish you the best Friday with what might ever happen Friday and whenever the draft goes. Alexis Lafreniere, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.